All right, let's just jump right in. Today we're doing an explainer on the insanely gripping psychological thriller Never Lie by Freida McFadden. And let me tell you, if you think you know where this story is going, you don't. It is an absolute masterclass in building tension, burying secrets, and completely pulling the rug out from under you. So let's break this down. Picture this. You're trapped in a blinding, raging blizzard with Ethan, your husband of barely 6 months. Your GPS just completely gave up on you, miles back, and now you're literally trudging through knee-high snow in freezing temperatures, desperately trying to reach this deserted $1 million estate. No cell service, zero footprints, no sign of life anywhere except for one single ominous light glowing from an upstairs window. Kind of sets the mood, right? What I absolutely love here is the wild contrast between our two main characters. Trisha is experiencing pure, undeniable dread. To her, this place is a dusty, cobweb-covered museum, and the air just feels heavy, like it's holding its breath, waiting for something awful to happen. But Ethan? Ethan is buzzing with this bizarre golden retriever energy. He is practically glowing, acting like they just stumbled into his ultimate dream getaway. So they manage to get inside, and they figure out that this massive, eerily quiet estate actually belongs to a Dr. Adrienne Hale. Now, if that name rings a bell, it's probably because she was a wildly famous psychologist and the author of a celebrated book called Know Yourself, The Anatomy of Fear. The catch? She vanished without a single trace 3 years ago. Her house is literally an untouched time capsule from the exact day she disappeared. As the night goes on, things go from creepy to straight-up terrifying. Around 8 p.m., Trisha spots a massive, fresh footprint near a dusty shelf. Then, she sees a glass of water on the kitchen counter with fresh condensation dripping down the sides. Fast forward to 11 p.m., and a giant portrait of Dr. Hale physically moves off the wall. By 2 a.m., they are hearing distinct, heavy footsteps echoing from the floor right above them. Now, while Trisha, who, by the way, is secretly pregnant, is quietly panicking, Ethan's behavior gets deeply, deeply weird. He casually brushes off this incredibly heavy, terrifying atmosphere. He actually makes himself a sandwich using a brand new pack of sliced bologna he finds in the fridge of this supposedly abandoned house. And then, get this, he changes out of his wet clothes and puts on a pair of jeans that belong to Adrienne's dead boyfriend. And he acts like this is a totally normal thing to do. Trisha obviously can't sleep, so she starts doing a little snooping in Adrienne's perfectly preserved office. She's looking at the bookshelf and notices a copy of Stephen King's The Shining jutting out just a fraction too far. She reaches out, gives it a little pull, and click! A hidden door swings open right there, revealing this massive, windowless secret room. And right here is where we uncover Dr. Hale's hidden life. The room is filled with thousands of cassette tapes, all meticulously organized with a color coding system to track her patient's deepest psychological secrets. Blue labels for first session, black for follow-ups, and red meant the final session. This wasn't just an office. It was a psychologist's entire life's work cataloged in plastic and hidden behind a secret wall. But here's where things get super interesting. Trisha spots a chilling anomaly on the shelf. She finds a red tape for a patient with the initials EJ. Now remember, red means the final session. But inexplicably, that red tape is followed by more black follow-up tapes. That is a massive break in Dr. Hale's incredibly strict system. Something clearly went very, very wrong here. So Trisha plays the EJ tape, and right away, the guy's voice sounds oddly familiar to her. He's super smug, totally calm, and just openly threatening the doctor without ever raising his voice. But wait, here is the absolute jaw-dropper. On the recording, EJ gives the doctor a very specific gift, a South African Cabernet Sauvignon, which just happens to be the exact same highly specific bottle of wine that Ethan casually opened downstairs earlier that night. Before running back to Ethan, Trisha grabs another tape, this one labeled PL. Now, PL is the famous survivor of a horrific cabin massacre that Dr. Hale actually wrote about in her book. Trisha listens to the tape, and PL's voice is just cracking with this deep, raw trauma as she describes her murdered friends and fiancé. And she ends with this chilling warning: the killer is still out there. You can literally feel the fear. The very next morning, all that creeping paranoia snaps into pure horror. Trisha, who is now wearing one of the missing doctor's cashmere sweaters because she's freezing, is walking downstairs and accidentally drops her wedding ring. It bounces and rolls right behind the heavy living room couch.
Ethan comes over to help her move the furniture so she can grab it. But as they push the couch, they hear this weird, hollow sound coming from underneath the floorboards. They pry up a heavy wooden plank, and immediately this foul smell just hits them in the face. Tucked away inside that dark, tight compartment is a fully decomposed body, literally collapsed into itself. Before they can even begin to process the fact that there's a literal dead body at their feet, a massive crash echoes through the hallway. Ethan grabs a kitchen knife, they rush toward the noise, and they corner this disheveled, homeless-looking guy right in the office. Wild hair, filthy clothes, and his eyes are just darting frantically all over the room. The guy throws his hands up, and the second he speaks, Trisha recognizes the voice from the tapes. It's Luke, Dr. Hale's boyfriend. He is basically the world's prime suspect for her disappearance. His entire life was destroyed by the public accusations, and he claims he is 100% innocent. He says he's just been secretly hiding out in the attic this whole time because he literally had nowhere else to go. Ethan, however, is not buying a single word of it. He forcefully demands Trisha tie the intruder up with duct tape. But then, as Ethan turns around, he spots the open hidden door leading to the tape room, and his reaction? He erupts into this cold, sharp, terrifyingly controlled anger. He forces Trisha to promise she's done snooping, and then he heads out into the blinding storm to get help. The absolute second Ethan is gone, Luke turns to Trisha and drops a massive bombshell. He tells her that the dead body under the floorboards, it absolutely cannot be Adrian. Why? Because the corpse is wearing jeans, and Adrian Hale never, ever wore jeans. Trisha is desperate for the truth now, so she sprints back into the tape room and pops in a much later recording, PL 185. But on this tape, PL doesn't sound traumatized at all. She sounds completely calm. Dr. Hale's voice, on the other hand, is sharp and accusatory. The doctor confronts PL, flat out accusing her of faking the entire massacre for fame. She tells PL that she knows she was the one who murdered her fiancé and friends, and then she demands a sinister favor to keep her mouth shut. And this brings us to the massive, floor-dropping twist of the entire story. Are you ready for this? Trisha's real name is Patricia Linkton. She is PL. Trisha is the true, cold-blooded murderer from the cabin massacre. Her entire life is built on an absolute lie, and Dr. Adrian Hale is dead because of her. So when Ethan finally walks back through the door, the whole facade just shatters. Trisha completely breaks down and confesses her dark, murderous past to him. But here's the kicker. Instead of running away in horror, Ethan just stares right at her and reveals his own dark secret. He murdered his own mother. Suddenly, everything clicks. We are not looking at a tragic, unlucky couple caught in a storm. We're looking at a match made in hell. 2 killers, 1 marriage, 0 conscience. Realizing that Luke is sitting right there, tied up, having heard way too much, this psychopathic power couple instantly bonds over their complete lack of guilt. They methodically put together a horrifying, permanent cleanup plan. Step 1, eliminate the witness. Step 2, bury the bodies. Step 3, start their family pretending absolutely nothing ever happened. Fast forward 2 years later, and we're looking at this perfectly idyllic house. A newly pregnant Trisha is happily watching her daughter play outside. And as Ethan and Trisha walk past a specific patch of incredibly thick, lush green grass in their yard, they share this secret knowing smile. Because they know that's the exact spot where Luke is secretly buried. In the end, Ethan and Trisha really did find their perfect match in each other's darkness, right? They built this pristine, picture-perfect life literally on top of buried bodies. It's a brilliantly twisted puzzle that leaves us with one seriously chilling final thought. When you look at the person sitting across from you, what secrets is your perfect match hiding?